thankfully with us today, we have a couple students that will be covering a topic or two. We brought in a bunch of questions from this week and from last week. Today's topic is going to revolve around a program called Canva, which I'll let the students talk a little bit more about what that is and how you may use that in class. Some Google Slides questions, specifically around templates, what that's going to look like. We also have, somebody mentioned this week, asked me a question about eye strain, the idea of looking at a screen all day and that kind of high blue light level. And so there is a Chrome extension that we'll look over that is called Screen Shader that allows you to kind of adjust the blue light as well as other things, the hue and the timing, that kind of stuff of your machine, of your device. And finally, we'll leave with recording to slides. So there's a couple different options. We talked about this before as far as recording yourself, either through video or audio, and getting that into Google Slides. There's an extension that you could do that will do that directly. So if you want to record a little video and store it right on Slides and let students use it that way. So we'll go through all that. But the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to introduce Sarah Cole and Cheyenne Martin. They're going to be talking about Canva today. So I will turn it over to Sarah.
Hi. So today we have Cheyenne Martin presenting about Canva. She is currently a senior at Nokomis Regional High, and she is in Mr. Kelly's and Mr. Brown's broadcasting class. So take it away, Cheyenne.
Hi, everyone. Let me present here. So as Mr. Kelly said, Canva is a website where you can create your own graphic designs anywhere from presentations to book covers, posters, anything you want. So today I am just going to be making a thumbnail for the RSU 19 YouTube channel. So I can actually just type in YouTube thumbnail and a template will come up that is the right size. Okay, so there's a lot of different things you can do. You can add photos or other elements and text. You can even add music and videos if it's something that's going to be in a platform where you can actually play videos, but if you're printing, you obviously cannot use those. So I'm gonna start by just making part of the background a different color. So I'm gonna go to Elements.
I'm going to jump in, Cheyenne. I think it froze on the other tab, maybe. You can just check the presentation. So make sure we can see the work you're doing.
Oh, just a minute. It keeps on glitching.
Okay. So while she's loading that up, I'll just kind of share this. This is a free app for education, and we have applied for it for the district. So if you sign into it with your rsu19.net account, you'll be able to use it for free. It does cost outside of that if you want to use your personal account, but you'll be able to do a ton of different, graphic design type things. There we go. Now we can see what you're showing us. Excellent.
Okay. All right. So as I was saying, there's a bunch of different things that you can use. There's the Photos tab, which there are photos that you can use on here, or you can upload your own. There's different elements like shapes, lines, frames for pictures, and there's text, and then the music and videos. So I'm going to start by just going to Elements, and I'm just going to choose the square. And I'm just going to line it up and make it, I don't know. That will be good. And then to change the color, you can click on this square right up in the corner. And I'm actually going to click on New Color to choose a custom color. And I have a code that I'm going to use so it is the right color of burgundy.
Now, how did you find that, Cheyenne? How did you find that exact color?
It's the one that Nick gave me, and I just have it saved in one of my other designs, and I've been using that one.
Mhm.
And then I'm gonna add a text box, and I'm just gonna make this one a generic one. So I'm just gonna title it Regional School Unit. Oh, you can't see that. Oh, I spelled that wrong. And then I'm going to also change the color of this.
So while you're doing that, why would I use this, do you think, instead of like Google Slides, for example? What would be the benefit of that?
There's a lot more that you can do with it.
Mm-hmm.
There's more font choices. There's more. It also comes with a lot more, like there's photos that you can use. There's different elements that you can use where Google Slides does not have as many. And like Canva already has templates designed for you that you can use, like a very wide range.
So if I was doing like a flyer or, something specific, or a brochure, or something specifically graphic oriented, there's a bunch of different templates already available for me.
Yes, there is.
Excellent. The other thing I noticed here in the upper right, it says send to teacher. So this connects to the Google Classroom.
Yes. Oh, this is being so slow. So there, I'm going to put that there. I think I'm actually going to make this side a little smaller. So if you just highlight something, you have all the options to move it. And then I'm going to put that in the middle. And then I have already uploaded the logo, so I'm going to insert this. And then, so this is a very basic design, but you can go to Elements and there's a bunch of stuff. So if I wanted to add something to the white side, because that's pretty boring, I can go to the different line designs and just pick whichever one I might want. So I like this one, and then you can just add it wherever to enhance your design some. Another one at the bottom. And then similar to Google Docs or Google Slides, you can also change the font. And there's a bunch of different fonts. Just stick to something basic.
Go ahead and throw up that template again, the home page. You had a bunch of templates, so I can see all the different options you have. Did you have a place with a bunch of different choices? Yeah, so scroll down a little bit. So what do we got going on here?
So these are a bunch of the recommended ones, which is just Instagram post, book cover, poster, but then you have the tabs, so you can go to social media and it will have different designs and sizes for all different types of social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Then you can go to events and invitations, posters, brochures, and then you can just continue to go through and they all kind of fall under a category. Or you can always choose custom, which is to make whatever design you want.
Awesome.
And then there's actually these, which could be very helpful for teachers. You can make worksheets, presentations, and a bunch of other things on here, lesson plans.
Awesome. Fantastic. So if there aren't any questions in the chat or for Cheyenne or for Sarah, I know Sarah, you're using this as well, I believe.
Yes, I am. So I'm actually, I don't know how big of the word it's gotten per se around the school, but I'm revamping the writing center. And right now I am currently making flyers to push out the word. And I have been using Canva to make these flyers to make them more professional in a way.
Awesome. Well, thank you both very much. Fantastic job, both of you. Awesome. We're going to move on. So that was Canva, canva.com. When you do sign in, we'll do a screen share here. All right. So that was Canva, canva.com. And when you do sign in the first time, if you sign in with your school account, it will basically it's free for education. So we have that connected. It can connect if you want to create a classroom version of this to connect for your students and have them do a specific template, like you're doing a brochure or you're doing some of these worksheets they mentioned, that kind of stuff. Very similar type of setup to slides. It's just more graphic oriented. Rather than doing kind of a slideshow, it's more like you're laying out something you're going to print, like a brochure or a flyer or that kind of thing. So cool tool. We just wanted to share that. Speaking of slides and speaking of kind of dressing up slides and making them a little bit better, a couple other sites that I will throw into the chat just so you guys have them as far as something that you might find useful. We all know that the Google Slides comes with a handful, not very many, but a handful of templates that are already available. Two sites, slidescarnival.com and slidesgo.com, both give you tons of free templates that are already created. So I can click on any of these. Let's say I want this one. This one was kind of cool. I don't know what it is, but let's go look at it. I can click on it. They do have PowerPoint and Google Slide templates, basically, you can take a copy of. It is free. So I can click on that Google Slides template right here. If I like this one, I can look at them. Oh, that's kind of interesting. Click on this, make a copy, and now we'll make my own personal copy of that slideshow, once it loads here, with all that stuff already in it. So if you're kind of getting tired of the same old slides that you've been using all along or the same themes, check out slidesgo.com or Slides Carnival. They both work basically the same way. They make their money generally off the ads on the sides, but they're templates, and there are tons of them. I don't know the exact number, maybe hundreds of templates on here, and any of these are free and available to use. So certainly worth checking out if you want to kind of spruce up your slides to start with. What I like about them too is, like, I'll just click on another one to show you. They give you all the different options within it, as far as, like, it's not just a header. It's all the different types. Here's one with outlines, with different pictures, different graphics, all kinds of different types of slides that you can use and adjust and adapt to be more useful to you. Cool. All right. Another tool that we shared this week that was kind of useful. I had a teacher ask me about, looking at the screen all day. We're looking obviously at screens a lot more than we used to or we necessarily want to, but it gets a strain on the eyes, not only all day, but all night and the whole thing. So there is an extension. There's a number of these types of extensions out there. The one I'll share in the chat right here is called Screen Shader. And it's not that this is necessarily the best one out there. Like I said, there are tons of them out there. Some of them are a little bit simpler that just do one thing. A lot of them just adjust the brightness. So if I'm looking at the bright screen right now, it will just adjust, 50%, 75% darker or whatever. What Screen Shader does, it is an extension, and what that means is it will join your Google Chrome, and that means that whatever device you're on, it will follow you basically. But it'll put a little icon up here in the upper right, and I can click on it. I've disabled it right now just to show you, but you can set times on it. That means that at certain times during the day, let's say in the afternoon or the evening, you want it to go like a different color scheme than in the morning or whatever. You can actually adjust it all kinds of different ways. I'm going to enable it here to show you. Let's jump on a different tab here and have it pull up. Let's go back to this one. There we go. I don't know if you notice how the sides now kind of are yellowish, and I can turn that on or off if I want to, and I can drag to make this a little bit darker. The idea here is that it lowers the blue light that you find on screens. Most of them, if they're just white, you're getting a lot of blue light in your eyes, and that can kind of strain your eyes. So you can adjust this, and this is just a custom one. There are tons of different variations of this. As far as like the color scheme, like I'm using dark, yellowish right now, but you can choose different colors if you want. Here's a blue one. dark brown one, I guess. Location. So if you put in your location, the reason why it does that is because it will find your time zone and it will know the time of day it is, basically where you're at. And then it can adjust based on, if you notice that slider right here, you know, at what point during the day do you want that to kick in? Do you want it to be at nighttime? Do you want it to be during the morning, or whatever? You can choose however you want to do that. There's a ton of different little settings in here and more to make it more customized. Basically, what I found when I used this before is I basically got it all set up, and once I set it like I want it, set it and forget it. I just kind of walked away and it just ran as I needed. So I do kind of enable and disable this as I want. So that was a screen shader as an extension, which I think is pretty cool. The last one, unless there's any questions here, the last one I'm going to share today is another extension that people have been asking, you know, the best way to record themselves, get it into, you know, a slideshow to be able to share with my students. We know recording in Google Meet, which we've all done before. We can use WeVideo in the bit.ly/Chrome Camera, some of these other apps we've talked about before. But this is a new one I discovered not too long ago. It's called Record to Slides. It is its own extension. Let me pop that into the chat as well. Okay, so what this does, once it's enabled, is if you open up a new blank Google slideshow, something like this, just a new Google slideshow, it will add a new little icon up here in the upper right, a little blue, I think with a white plus, and I think it's supposed to be like a camera icon here. So I click on that, and now I can record directly into the slideshow. So it's going to ask me, who do you want to be able to see this? Is it private? Is it anybody in your domain, or is it just anybody, public? So I'll just choose anyone here. I can click record. Hi everybody, nice to be here. Click stop, and I'm done. There are no editing tools. It's just what you see is what you get. So it records. The benefit of this, reason why that's kind of useful, is if you want to send it directly to a Google slideshow and as simple as possible. You know, we talked about some of the other tools like WeVideo, like Screencastify. Those all work as well, and they give you editing ability. This just does it directly here. If I like it, if I click play, I'm happy with the video, I just click OK. I have noticed it does, let me sign back in again, which I can do, but it does take a minute for it to appear on this slide. It doesn't happen instantaneously. When I tried it before, I'll record my piece and then wait a minute or two or whatever, like, you know, a couple of minutes or whatever, and then it will appear there. So just to be knowledgeable about that, it's not instantaneous, but when you're done, it's there. The biggest drawback of this tool, I find, is really comes down to you can't edit that. It's what you see is what you get. So if you do a big long video and halfway through you want to pause it or do something else, that's kind of what you got. So, but I think I can see times when this would be useful. You just want to do a quick recording or a quick piece to throw on there to have at your disposal. So record to slides is an extension. You can do that. All right, we'll jump back to our Meet. Stop sharing. Jump back over here. All right. Are there any questions this week? I did have one last question that popped up to me today as far as Guardian emails go. So if you, in your Google Classroom, do not see that invite Guardian list, a couple people have emailed me, let me know, and I will add you to make sure that you are on the classroom list. It's a list from the admin level that we have to do. The other thing I wanted to share is we are finally finalizing our 3D printers that will be available to kind of roll around and be available to different teachers to use as needed. We already have our first project kind of lined up, and so it'll be in use for a week or two. But if this is something as we go forward that you're interested in having part of, having your students kind of participate in 3D printing. Now I know it's going to be a little bit more hands-off as we normally would be, but that's no problem. Students can still work virtually on their things that they wanted to create, in 3D modeling, and then we can bring that into the actual printer and print it out, remotely basically. So if that's something you're interested in as well, let me know for sure. We have currently, I think we have 3 carts right now ready to roll. So we're going to move them around the school and so forth. One other project I was going to highlight, I thought it was kind of cool to share, is we have Ms. Clark's science class is doing pictures and 360 photos across the street at the trail, the nature trail. And the plan will be when that's completed is that they'll be available for other students to be able to use. So their students are taking the 360 photos. They're going to add information with them, talk about the habitats of animals there and kind of some of the other pieces that go along with that, kind of a scientific lens to that area. And then when you're all done, we'll be able to share those with everybody. So that's one of the projects that I think is going on right now, which is kind of fun. All right, so with that, if there's no more questions, we're up a little bit early today. We will be here again next Wednesday, hopefully instead of Friday, and hopefully we will still be in person. I know there's kind of a lot of people talking about different schools going remote, and as of right now, we will still, everyone will be back on Monday. So with that, thank you guys for joining us. I will see everybody on Wednesday. Have a great weekend.